Greetings and salutations, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. As always, I'm Diamond Mine, and today we're gonna start a new series that I'm calling Stuff. In this series, we're gonna review the stuff that you might wanna get to do cardistry, to make videos, and hopefully to make cardistry videos. And sometimes it might just be dope stuff I think you might wanna check out or buy. Before I forget, I wanna remind everyone to hit the like button and share if you're into cardistry. It really helps out the channel, and I need every ounce of support I can get right now. If you're a cardist, if you're a content creator, hey, if both, consider subscribing, because that's the kind of videos we get down on here. Okay, y'all, without further ado, let's dive on in. With the V1 Kickstarter funded back in January of 2016, Orbit is one of the original deck brands that was produced specifically for flourishing. Orbit produced a high quality deck but with more general characteristics, so you could use it if you were a magician, but you could also use it if you were a cardist. It's not just for thin crushed people, it's not just for super stiff NDO style cardists. Orbit was the first brand that I saw that pitched to the cardist magician and included sleights in his cardistry lines. Over time, Orbit could have easily become the older guy brand for corny magicians to dabble in something that's actually cool. But that's not what happened. With the Christmas decks and changing it up from the V count to like collab decks, Orbit continued to produce decks to great success. He really does a great job of staying fresh, in my opinion. As cardists and magicians, we love Orbit. The marked decks, the unmarked decks, the gaff cards, the custom chords, all of it. One of my favorites to this day, and it was actually probably my first, maybe second deck that I ever bought for cardistry years ago. So without further ado, I'll go set up the top-down rig, and let's review a curated selection of the Orbit deck catalog. Today I wanted to grab a couple decks kind of from each series, and then we'll end with the Christmas 2023. This is Orbit V7. This is the first deck from Orbit that I ever got a couple years back. You can tell it's a little beat up. I have not got a new one. You always get a duplicate 8 of spades and a double backer. But this is definitely one of my favorite all-time decks. A lot of memories practicing this deck and learning moves for the first time. It's just regular bicycle stock. It's not thin crushed or anything like that. And as you can see, the theme is kind of like this 80s pink and blue motif that really, look at that, is really just quite beautiful. Absolutely spectacular colors. Let's not spend too much time and jump into the next deck, which is the V8s. This deck really blew my mind. It has a kind of a flip book effect to it. And you can see that these little asteroids orbit the back design. Very, very clever. Never seen that before. This was released about the time that we landed on Mars. So there we have the Mars rovers, identical jokers as well, which of course a lot of people love for magic effects. And you can have a similar theme to the last Ace of Spades, but with a biosphere. Obviously that's Mars, which actually a lot of folks don't know this, but the sky is actually blue on Mars. It's the red planet, but if you're on Mars, looking through the sky, it's blue. I really enjoy the black typeface, the dark gray typeface. Probably because they don't always do that with this deck. With Orbits, they're usually another color. So when it's the regular color, it kind of has a more of a striking impact. And I think they're the same custom chords every time as well. And then of course, just like last time, you've got your duplicate 8 of spades and your double backer. I don't use these cards very often, so I'm gonna leave them in order because I really enjoy that flip book effect. Next, these were phenomenal. You guys know that I'm a hipster cardist at heart. I love the Tally-Ho circle back. It's a classic back design. And this was about the time that Chris Ramsey released his bicycle collab. No shade on Ramsey, but I definitely thought this was way better. I mean, just so cool. Definitely a lot more subtle. He's got the orbit circle where the Tally-Ho circle back normally was. And Chris Ramsey just put the first little thing on the bicycle, but this had a lot more clever integration. Of course, look at this. Instead of just the regular orbit faces, look at that Ace of Spades. It's the Tally-Ho Ace of Spades, but it says the Orbit deck. Yeah, really clever. Then they could call it Tally-O. Of course, you get your double backer. The other Joker, instead of being identical, this time you have a Tally-Ho Joker and your Orbit astronaut guy. Definitely one of my favorites from Orbit, if not my favorite Orbit. I don't know. Haven't checked out the new one, so that could be my new favorite as well. The blue ones are the same. It just depends on your style and your mood for the day, but they handle the same, which by the way, these are thin crushed, which I don't personally prefer, but they're broken in. They handle great. You know, I mean, I say that I hate thin crushed stock for cardistry. I don't. I just am really bad at using them before they're broken in. Now the next one here is out of the collab series that Orbit started with musicians. And this I think is probably my favorite out of that series. I'm not a huge Aesop Rock fan. I used to listen to Aesop Rock the better part of 20 years ago. Because I had some friends who were graffiti artists, and I was a graffiti artist, and we were all b-boys and all that type of stuff. But I haven't listened to them in years, and I just really, really enjoy the back design. I mean, first of all, it's an asymmetrical back design. It's a one-way, as you can see right here. I love the glitch effect they put on the circle, and then something that I really enjoyed, first of all, look at that red. That red is beautiful. Look at these ad cards. I think this is probably from an album cover, I'm guessing. I'm not positive, but oh, that is absolutely phenomenal. That's beautiful. Look at that. I think I really bent one of the cards, so I have to take it out when I use it. Otherwise, it always cuts at that one spot. But definitely my favorite out of the collab series. Next is the most recent collaboration he's put out, and that's with the actor who played Squints in The Sandlot, which is hilarious. I love, by the way, love that colorway, that orange and the Sandlot font. Oh, it's just really just aesthetically quite pleasing. This one is really thin crushed, and I think was not produced by USPCC. It definitely feels a lot different. It feels a lot more like Daniel Madison decks. I heard some folks really, this was their least favorite, but I still like it. I mean, once broken in, it still handles like a dream. That's just personal preference, you know? The custom quartz, this is the first time I've seen them any different. I think this is the lifeguard, perhaps? Yeah, I think all the women quartz appear to have those sunglasses like the lifeguard did, and there's glasses like Squints on all the male quartz. That's funny. The piece de resistance. Let's check it out. I really enjoy this painting. It looks like a painting, right? Oh, look at that, first try. Very nice. I used to leave these on, but I picked up like 50 or 100 of those protective jewel cases, and I really enjoy being able to take that off now. Orbit always has these glossy seals. By the way, this is how you unseal a tuck. Press in with your thumbnail so that it makes this little seam here, and then just poke your thumb in and it'll break along that seam. The reason you do it this way is because when you cut it across with a knife, you're left with this flap of like still sticky, you know, it's a sticker. Woo! Oh, that is beautiful. I love the font on this Merry Christmas part. Orbit in white, simple, but oh, and the bridge, and I wonder if that's painted. So the tuck has these clouds on the inside, and of course says "We are Orbit," as it always does. And all right, let's go through these. Okay, Ace of Spades. Oh, look at that candy cane lollipop type of thing. Oh, look at that bell, really stands out. And I love this gray blue. Colors. Oh, look at this. Is that Daniel Schneider? Somebody tell me who these are in the comments. But those are great. Christmas tree glasses. Very cool. Got the candy cane here. Very nice. See, that's a lot of thought. This king's wearing mittens. This king's opening a present. This queen's got a snow globe with, of course, this king's having hot chocolate. She's eating the gingerbread man. This guy's placing ornaments. And then, of course, here's our double backer and our 8 of spades. Okay, all right. It definitely feels like we're back in the States. Definitely feels like we're back in Kentucky with these cards. Ooh, actually, yeah. that handles surprisingly well. I know everybody says that, oh, this handles so well out of the box. But this is definitely my favorite Christmas deck from Orbit. Yeah, by a long shot. Really, I love the colors. The neutral colors are gonna go great with most outfits. Can't wait for our first shoot with this deck. Should be pretty fun. Alright y'all, I had a good time. Let me know what you thought, how the top-down rig and the multicam, how I still have to edit it all, and I'm not really looking forward to that, but I'm really excited to see how it turns out. So if you want to toss some feedback down in the comments, I would really appreciate it. Well, alright y'all, that's gonna do it for today. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. I had a great time. Remember, if you're into cardistry, making videos, or both, toss me a like, share, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. It really helps a new channel like ours. All the decks you saw here today will be linked in the description below, and I'll also list and link all the gear that I used in this video as well, in case you want to get into content creation. And we're gonna make more videos like that as well coming up, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when we drop future content. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, I'm Diamond Mine, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace.